Okay, let me make this absolutely clear right at the beginning. This is not a motivational video, and I'm not a motivational speaker. And believe me, this is not a demotivational video either. My goal when making videos such as this is to give you a realistic picture of what you should expect so that you can prepare yourself accordingly. This is Chaitanya Sambhara, faculty at the College of Business, University of Texas Arlington. What happens many times is that people who are studying in the US, students in particular, put some flashy pictures on their social media. For example, you will see students traveling to some popular tourist destinations and posting pictures from those locations. And those people who are back in the country get very impressed by that, and they think that everything is great with those students in the US. However, that is not always the case. Indeed, there are many good things about studying in the US. However, you should be aware of the dark side, the struggles that students go through. And here I will tell you about the 6 most important aspects related to that. The first thing first is that if you get admission at a good program at a good university, it is going to be very hard for you. Not everyone does well when they come here to study. Especially on social media, people only broadcast their successes, but people hide their failures. What happens many times is that number of students who come to the US struggle very bad in their programs. In fact, I have seen students who, once they come here, put some flashy pictures of driving some rented high-end car. They will put pictures on very popular tourist locations such as Vegas, New York City, Los Angeles, whatever, right? However, they do really bad in their studies, and I have seen such students getting kicked out of their degree programs because people get so distracted by the charm that the US has to offer that they perform poorly in their studies. The second struggle of studying in the US is that many times what professors do, not all of them, but some professors choose to do, is that they determine a fixed number of students who can make an A. The grade that you'll end up getting for that class will many a times depend on the average class performance, which means that no matter how well you do, if other students have also done well, your grade will not be all that good. You will have to really differentiate yourself from the rest of the class. And in my student life here, I have actually seen that up close. I personally do not follow that rule. I think that if all the students do well, all the students should get good grades. But there are some professors who determine hard caps, such that let's say a professor may have a policy that no more than 15 or 20% students can make an A. Therefore, it is very important that you know how your professor grades. The third dark side that people do not talk about is that there is intense competition from your own people. And this is particularly true if you are an international student. What happens many times is that not all companies are willing to take in international students, because then those companies will have to go through a long stretched visa process, and even getting an H-1B visa for the candidate they hire is not even guaranteed. So why would a company want to risk by investing so much time and energy and money on you? They would rather hire somebody else, right? Which also means that because the pool of the companies that are willing to take international students is smaller, all the international students will target those companies, right? Now guess what happens? The extent of competition for those positions is very high. And in case if other candidates who are applying for the same position have solid work experience of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then you might find it difficult to get through that selection pool. Let me give you an example. I was trying to help a student get an internship at a particular company in Denver, Colorado. What happened is that that company received around 50 applications for one intern position. Okay? Out of those 50 applications, 8 had solid work experience of more than 3 years. Naturally, the company eliminated those 42 applicants and focused on those 8 applicants because they knew that they have already worked and they know a few things already. And among those 8 applicants, they selected those 3 people who had work experience, had good GPAs, and were from better universities. And among those 3 people, they ended up hiring 1. So imagine the extent of competition there is for each and every single position. Therefore, of course, getting a job is difficult, but even getting an internship is not all that easy. The fourth challenge, the fourth struggle, or the fourth dark side is that many students will not have enough money to get by. A great number of students take bank loans, and then when they come here, even if they get a campus job, the amount of money they earn many a times is not sufficient to meet all their expenses. So what they do is that they keep on getting money from back home. And the difficult part related to this is that the value of rupee has declined so much that for you to get $1, you'll have to spend a lot of money. For example, when I arrived in the US in 2006, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had spent 42 rupees to get $1. What is the rate of rupee now? It has doubled since then. Therefore, during their student life, most students are living paycheck to paycheck and their lifestyle is very contained. And if you are good enough and also lucky enough to get a good job, what happens is that people immediately upgrade their lifestyle. They immediately want to get a better car, they want to live a better life, and it is all good. It is only fair for them to do so, right? However, most of the jobs that people get are in expensive locations. Locations such as Bay Area, Chicago area, Seattle area, New York City, Boston, and all these places are quite expensive actually. And because these places are quite expensive, and now that they have upgraded their lifestyle, what ends up happening is that they do not save all that much. Therefore, even when they are trying to pay their loans back, it takes much longer for people to get rid of all the loans. The fifth dark side, what I'm going to say, most people will not like it, okay? Master's student life is in many ways more of an unpleasant experience than it is a pleasant experience. People have roommate issues, people have financial issues, students have their cooking duties where on a particular day it is their turn to cook for their roommates. People are burdened by homeworks and exams and they have to navigate through all of this while trying to work as hard as they can. People prefer to go to libraries, but then sometimes where they live is very far from their university library. But students have to endure all such pains. However, the good news is that the master's degree program is usually quite short. It is actually no more than 2 years. And in many cases, master's degree programs these days are just 1 year long. And because it is a relatively short duration, people are absolutely willing to go through that grind. The last and final point I have regarding the dark side is related to H-1B visa struggle. First of all, it is hard enough to get a good job. And even if you get a good job, you only have about 20 to 25% chance of getting picked up in the H-1B lottery system. If your degree is in non-STEM area, you only have one shot at getting that H-1B visa. But even if you have a STEM degree, you have 3 shots. But given that the likelihood of getting picked up in the H-1B lottery is so low, what happens many times is that a lot of people spend 3 years working for a company and then they go back. Therefore, it is very important to maximize your time when you are working for those 3 years. I'm not saying that you should not upgrade your lifestyle and continue living like a poor student. Of course, if you're earning well, you would want to live a better life. But all I'm saying is that be mindful with your finances. For example, I would suggest that buy a decent car, but do not go ahead and buy a brand new sports car, no matter how much you love your cars. The point is that after you buy a car, its value will decrease immediately. And a car is always a depreciating asset. And one important thing that many people are mistaken about is that they think that, okay, if we do not get our H-1B picked up, we'll just go to Canada, right? Not really. The point is that Canada is 10 times smaller than US when it comes to their population, which means that the number of opportunities in Canada is also very low. Why else do you think that 90% of the Canadian population lives within 100 miles of the US border? In summary, all I can suggest is that be mentally prepared to go through a grind for 1 to 2 years while you're a master's student in the US. And when you get a job, just be a bit mindful of your expenses. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind and God bless America.